My brother Tyrell Williams, without question. I was his best man at his wedding. He was my groomsman. We were connected at the hip. And some people try to make fun of that, but I think that's like you're envying that because you want someone to iron sharp as iron. One is better than two. For like people envying that.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Restoration Club podcast, I should say. We are here today, guys. Do you smell it? Is that azaleas? I think azaleas, pimento cheese. It's the start of the Masters. We ready? We ready, fellas? This is
Absolutely.
it. We are ready. We are ready.
That's
and
funny.
So, as we're here, we're excited to have a new guest with us. Some of us have been connecting with the RC family a lot over the past few months. We're excited to have the pride of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Shout out Migos. Shout out Backpack Kid. Shout out Alex Arma. I got them all down here.
Digging deep early.
Yeah, right. We're in this. But we want to give a shout out to Geremy Davis for joining us today. We're excited to have him and tell his story. So, Geremy, tell the crowd, the crew, who you are.
Yeah, well, it's funny. My mom always say, like, because my Wikipedia says Lawrenceville, but, like, I was pretty much claimed Norcross, Georgia.
Okay.
As where I'm from in there. Yeah. But nice. we were in Lawrenceville for like a year. But, yeah, born in Memphis, moved to Georgia when I was 7, so I was raised in Georgia. Football is really my background. Played football, high school football at Norcross High School. I went on to get a scholarship to University of Connecticut. Just won national championship. Shout out to them boys.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Something casual. But and then from there, overcome a lot of adversity, with the football program there. But, praise God, I was able to make it, got drafted, picked 186 in the 2015 drafts to the Giants. Ended on playing 6 years in the NFL. The last year was a cup of coffee. I still count that year. And now I just have a huge passion, obviously, for the Lord, and I love the game of golf, man.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Love it.
And you're in Phoenix.
Yeah. I'm in Arizona. Yeah. I love the West Coast, quote unquote. Because like we just talked about, Arizona's on Pacific Coast time. I love Pacific Coast time. I love being out here, man. Was on the Chargers for 4 years, so I just kind of really got acclimated to this side of the country, man. So, and Arizona's, maybe Florida people might argue this, but it's golf capital out here. So, yeah.
I'm gonna have to fight. Yeah, I gotta fight people in the comments now. Here we go. Yes. I'm gonna have to get after it. That's good. That's awesome, bro.
We're down the road from the American home of golf with Pinehurst, but we'll let it be what it is. It's all good.
I guess for your amateur golfer, there are a lot of golfers. I mean, really, you only got TPC out here, both of them, and then Arizona National down in Tucson, where they used to have the Pac-10, Pac-12 championships too, down there. And it's probably a bunch of other courses, but those are probably the most PGA friendly courses that are played out here in Arizona.
Yeah. What's the summer vibe for golf in Arizona? I mean, it's blazing. So I mean, is it at all?
Yeah,
what goes on?
That's your con. But if you love golf, try to get tee time at 5:30 in the morning. And if you do try to do it during the day, like when it's like, if you're acclimated to Arizona, if it's like 92 degrees, you're like, oh, that's a win. Let's go golf.
Yeah.
Now, when it starts hitting those 110, 115, it's like, all right, we either going to play at 5:30 in the morning or, shout out to Grass Clippers that now has night golf.
Yeah.
Try to book a tee time at night. And I'm surprised more Arizona golf courses don't have night golf because you can still obviously make revenue where it's not so hot. But, you get guys to get tee times at, 7:30 p.m. and, still fulfill that golf itch. But yeah, for me, that's the one con about Arizona. The summers are just unbearable, man. Now, the thing that is good about it is if you get in shade in Arizona, it's actual shade. I just played with a buddy today. One of my buddy, I just played with a Ram today. He's from South Carolina. He was like, man, if you find shade in the South when it's hot, it's still hot.
It's
but
humid.
Here, if you
it's
find
terrible.
shade, you good. Yeah. Nice. But that's the summers out here with golf in Arizona, though. But if you love it, you still try and get it out there.
Oh, hands down. True. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I was going to say, we'll start you off easy since it's so top of mind. We already hit on it briefly. We are finishing up the first day of the first major recording this. So by the time it comes out, someone else will be wearing a green jacket.
For sure.
So who are we picking?
Man, so I'm going to stay true to where my picks were prior to obviously seeing scores. But I had Brooks Koepka, winning, and then my top three were Brooks, Scotty, and I had Joaquin Neiman, and I had a
Nice.
little asterisk next to Hideki and Patrick Cantlay. But ultimately, I said Brooks Koepka was going to win. I think he's even right now, so
Yeah.
obviously still in it, and it's a lot of golf to go. DeChambeau's playing out of his mind. Like he started off on a heater with 3 birdies in a row, and then went par. I think he got his first bogey maybe on hole 9, hole 10, but he's playing
Yeah.
really good. He's leading right now. Scotty's right behind him. Uh, but yeah, man, it's been very exciting watching. But yeah, I'm gonna stay true to what I say. I'm gonna say
Nice.
Brooks Koepka because I think he has a bit of vengeance from last year, having that it was like a 7-stroke lead, and then
Yeah.
Rahm just comes back and wins. So I think there's a dog in him. He's like I gotta get this.
Those
Brooke
aren't. Hey,
shows up in
those
the
are.
majors.
Yeah,
That's for
those aren't
sure.
bad. Yeah, without a doubt, those aren't bad calls either.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah.
you're looking at guys that are just dialed in on getting the drivers right, getting those irons right.
Mm.
And honestly, at the end of the day, you got to putt. And if you can putt,
Yes.
you're going to go
Yeah.
ahead because those things are glass, and you've got
Yeah.
to be able to
Oh,
handle all that stuff. I could
yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I'm just watching today too, and like obviously a lot of guys first time out there, like Nick Dunlap is just like that. He's in a bit of a struggle right now. I think he's really just struggling off the tee. I think short game is solid, but like he's getting himself in trouble, and it's like now I got to punch out, and now
Yeah.
I'm on for par, but now there's a bogey. But he's playing golf like us right now, which no shade to him because obviously he'll wash everybody, but it's a testament to like just how narrow the fairways are, how hard those greens are, man. You got to really be dialed, bro.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, golf is hard. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't care who you are, where you are, golf at the end of the day. Because when I'm watching these pros, I honestly spray them into the pines. I was like, look at those balls fly over there. I'm like, oh, that looks good.
yeah,
Okay, I know that spot. And then,
yeah.
but
I've been there plenty of times.
yeah, but the key again, and not just, I feel like it's also a life lesson too, right? It's about how do you recover? What's your
Hmm.
next shot? What are you going to do next to make the nice move and
Yeah,
put yourself back into position to score is really what the thing is. Don't
exactly.
let it get away from you.
Hmm.
Recover and make, good moves from that on point. So that's good. That's good.
Absolutely, absolutely.
For sure. Jeremy, I was going to say, we've had another pro athlete on the pod before in the baseball space. So I was curious to even ask you, what was that transition like for you, kind of coming out of the football space? Obviously, your background is in the game, put
Hmm.
a ton of time, effort, and focus into it. What was that transition like to kind of figure out the next step moving out of it?
Yeah, man. So, and I say this truthfully every time. There is a point where when you've played a sport for so long throughout your life, excuse me, there is a time you need to grieve. However, when I transitioned out, there was no who am I? I'm very, very happy that I've rooted myself in my identity with Christ.
Mm.
I know for some people who hear, they might be like, okay, all Christians say that. But like what I mean, like, dog, like in my word, with community, that when the sport is taken away from me, I was not lost. And I force that message because I want everyone else to have the contentment that Paul speaks about in Philippians when they're done, to be content. Like, all right, football is over, but there's so much more to life. Like, football is really like this much of my life
Yeah.
when you really think about it. But you know, I pulled my hamstring that one last time. There was a anger because of the way it's going to end because I do so much to take care of my hamstrings, and my grieving period was so short. Now, even in saying that, sometimes thoughts come in my head like your work ethic did not match your statistical success, and your statistical success did not match your work ethic. What I mean by that is like I put so much into the game, and again, some people might be like, "Yeah, I used to work hard too." Like, nah, you didn't work like me, bro. I'm trying to tell you, like, you did not work like me. Like, when I mean, like, I was probably second to third one, last person out of the building. The only person who stayed in that facility longer than me was Tyrod Taylor. That
Mm.
was the only person because when I used to walk past the quarterback room, he'd be like, "Oh, leaving so soon?" Like that was like his joke. But I was in there watching film, studying guys like Julio Jones, Demaryius Thomas, Larry Fitzgerald, like because I resembled them in size. But in saying all that, it's just like, dog, like my work ethic was, I didn't see that in the statistical category.
Yeah.
And sometimes that sneaks in my head, like you didn't get to see like you work for. but I always have to bring myself back. And what I tell myself is, or what the Holy Spirit tells me, like if if the Lord's will for your life was to have 5 catches for 59 yards and 18 special team tackles, then I can be content. I fulfill this will.
Mm.
Now, some people might hear that and be like, "That's it? Like, I don't want that to be my will." But it goes back to like, what's my identity in? Is it in the game of football, or am I really rooted in Christ? And if His will for my life was that, then I can be content with that. And that's how I kind of keep myself not going down that dark path of like, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, and yeah. So I mean, like I stayed in my word. I was super rooted. Even days I want to read the word, like, what am I disconnected from that word? So I just stayed locked in. And when I was done, it was like, I'm content. I agreed for that short period, and like, let's move on, bro.
That's good. Hey, Geremy, one of those things you mentioned too is like you mentioned community. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and we believe this Restoration Club is just about, men connecting, using the game of golf to really find transformation in what we do.
Mhm.
So tell us about who your iron sharpens off of. Like, tell us about maybe in that community time that you've had or where you're at now, who you connected to.
So going back to football, my brother Tyrell Williams, without question, I was his best man at his wedding. He was my groomsman. We were connected at the hip, and some people tried to make fun of that, but I think that's like you're envying that because you want someone to iron sharp as iron.
Yeah.
One is better than two. For like people envying that. And the thing that was so healthy about me and Tyra's relationship is a lot of times when you see in football, it's like you're really, really cool with somebody while they're on the same roster. Then when people go to other teams, like it kind of falls off. Man, when I mean me and Tyra on the Chargers, we like this. When I was still in the Chargers, Tyra went to the Raiders, we were like this. When I went my short stint in the CFL and he was on Detroit, we were like this. Like our relationship grew so much. One, starting off with just work ethic in the game of football. Secondly, was our love for like hip hop. We love music. And then like our foundation in Christ. And just really trying to encourage each other to continue to walk that out, convict each other in a healthy way when we're not walking that out. He was really like the main one for me. Then I had other guys too, like Artavis Scott, Hunter Henry, Tyrod Taylor used to come to the Bible groups. Easton Stick was there. But the one who, like right now, I call him right now, he picked up the phone, is Tyrell Williams, man. And he had a huge importance in just encouraging me encouraging him. And also in saying that just me as an individual wanting to reflect the gospel appropriately so people don't see me, but how Christ is coming through my life. And even when I slip up and I don't reflect that, how his grace covers that failure as well. And lastly, not to be long with, and today, it's still Tyrell Williams. It's my boy Torrance Wade who does golf and gospel with me. I got a bunch of other friends, but the ones who are like really rooted in Christ, them, and my brother Hergy Mayala. And 3 of those guys I named were groomsmen in my wedding because I know you guys are always going to encourage me in my marriage with my wife. If there's ever something going on between me and my wife, they're going to look to blame me first, which I like that, like hold me accountable for what went wrong. So yeah, those guys are very, very important. Like I said, I have other great friends, but in terms of those who are really being sanctified and really trying to work to figure out what is this gospel thing, but those guys are rooted. Those 3: Hergy Mayala, Tyrell Williams, Torrance Wade.
That's awesome, bro. That's one of those things that we often, the reason again we even ask is just because the value of having good men around. So that way it really is like, it is the old example that I could stand up on a chair right now and say, "Hey man, I'm going to try to pull you up," but it's going to be so hard, but it's just 2 fingers could pull me right off that chair. So when you get people around you that are really working hard, and especially when you're both or whoever it is around you that's driven to the same thing, like you said, focused on that gospel centric life of living out a life that Jesus wanted. Man, it just changes how you connect, how you can be open, transparency, all those things that you don't have to worry about failure. That when you do, they're right beside you saying, "All right, let's get up and let's keep going forward." Man, that's beautiful, man. It's awesome. I applaud that. That's good.
Thank you, man. Yeah, and we make a conscious effort to keep that going. Like we don't want anything to get spoiled or like, oh, we're only cool while in the league, or we're only cool because this is like, man. Like one of me and Tyrell's verse is Hebrews 13:1. It says, "Let the brotherly love continue," and that has been unconditional. And then me and the homie Torrance, we did a post about Psalms 133:1, and it said how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity. And we want to make sure that's a continuation thing throughout our life.
That's awesome. I love that.
That's a good segue. Geremy, the first time I had a chance to meet you was actually at the PGA show in Orlando.
Yeah.
And shout out to your wife. You guys were literally a week off of honeymoon.
Yeah. She kept trying to say it was our second honeymoon. I was like, dog, this is a business trip. It's not a second honeymoon. But that was her whole thing. Second honeymoon.
So shout out to her for joining you on that.
Yeah.
But obviously you referenced it too. What I guess was the origin of transitioning into, I'm going to go, head deep into this golf space and this world. It really felt like I was kind of feeding off of you, even just meeting you, the spark that we had our boy Robin Rosado there, kind of giving some swing tips, hanging out.
Yeah.
And I thought you were going to stay there all night if you could.
I really could, man. Yeah.
So
shout out to Robin too, man. I love the episode y'all had with him. He kept talking about how he was selling vintage clothes to try to make money. Yeah, shout out to Robin, bro.
Exactly.
But what was that transition to of getting into the game and then now kind of forming a platform that obviously has a lot of similarities of what we're trying to do with Restoration Club too?
Yeah, so it was right before COVID hit, and I like saying that because I don't want to be part of that group that said I started golfing because of COVID. It was right before COVID hit. I started playing golf with a buddy by the name of Jake Hardy. He's in FCA at Long Beach. He works at FCA. He lives in Long Beach, and he used to work for the Chargers. But he just told me to go out golf with him one time, and I couldn't do it. And it was tough. But every time I did get contact, I was like, oh, that felt good. Yeah. And at the time, like, I didn't take it fully seriously yet because I'm still focused on football. And I was like weird. I thought doing anything outside of football was a distraction. But as time periodically came on, I just go buy some cheap Top Flight clubs from, Dick's Sporting Goods, trying to just hit the ball, trying to make contact. Swing looks ugly, feet are moving all around, just trying to make contact. And as football is starting to leave, I start to say, like, man, I want to try to get better at the sport where I'm at least not wasting someone's time. But one of the main reasons why I wanted to keep doing it because it's a sport that is less physically demanding than like me going and go run routes right now or play basketball. My body's beat up. My shoulders hurt, my knees hurt, my Achilles and all that stuff hurt. So I can't go move like I want to because I used to love playing basketball, but it hurts. But what's a sport that it's going to be a lifelong chase, keeps you competitive, and it's less physically demanding on your body, and it's golf. So I started trying to get more serious. I started trying to mimic certain swings, which I watching everybody swing. I try to look at Tiger swing, try to look at Rahm swing. Even I had this little crush on Michael Block for that short time because of what he did, the PGA Championship, try to look at his swing. But then I just started to learn like swing my swing and start to pick up pieces of people's swings that I like. Like I love Max Homa's my favorite golfer. So just his tempo, because I can get really armsy. But as time goes on, I'm starting to find out the nuances of golf, the techniques of golf, what I do wrong in golf, and then just watching it like, okay, this is what I would do. Let me see what they would do. And it just really grew on me as a new passion, man. And I still love the game of football. I coach high school football and I train receivers here. But man, I reached the highest in football. I made the NFL. So this new passion with golf, man, has just really given me something new to chase, something new to be competitive in, which doesn't like really kill my body. And you can play this game for such a long time, like till I'm 70, 80, hopefully, you know what I'm saying? So, man, it's been really fun.
Love that. And then how did gospel and golf really kind of come together? And what was the initial vision behind that?
Yeah, so for me, man, like one thing, like I said, my football background is there's two things I did in the game of football. So I always say this, when you go to the combine in NFL, teams will ask you what's the three most important things in your life. The only things that are appropriate to say above football is either your faith or your family. But we've created a habit of always saying, God, family, and football. But if we truly say God first, faith first, then I always say we would treat the locker room, the football field, as our ministry. And I would say I did that to the best of the abilities I could, to treat the locker room like my ministry. So when I was done with it, I'm just like, man, how can I still use the importance of the gospel that I love so much and my athletic ability? Because football's done. And for me, I love Bob Bell Sports. They're just, at least two of them are just regular guys who aren't that good. They might hit a couple good shots here and there. FP's the only one's a dog. And I find this very entertaining. And then that leads me to see Good. I'm like, dang, they're dope. And then it goes to see Buster Jack Golf and Foreplay Pod and all these other golf channels. And for me, my best time to like talk to God is on night drives. So I'm driving down a 101 and it just hit me, golf and gospel. And I was like, dang, like I can compete and allow people to share the gospel while I share the gospel, but give other people a voice to do that. Boom, boom. So I was like, all right, let me just try a pilot episode. Just use my phone. Look at the first episode. The quality looks horrible. The message was still there though, but the quality looks horrible. I had a homeboy by the name of Jamal Jones. He was like, man, if you really truly love this, believe in it, like invest in it more. Like buy mics. So I bought mics and then still use my phone. Now shout out to my wife, who was my girlfriend, fiance at the time. She will record everything on the phone and just follow me, man. So, you know, shout out to her for sure. And then after that, it came to me hiring a cameraman. Shout out to my boy Noah Brediger. And then it's like, man, I'm about to go full in on this if I truly believe in it and I'm passionate about it. And yeah, that's how it just came to my mind, like literally having a love for Jesus, seeing what these guys are doing in the golf space with all those groups I just named. And honestly, the part I also want to challenge myself in too is truthfully, there are no black people in the YouTube golf space, like consistently posting stuff. You may have a guy post some once every 2 or 3 months, and they're really good in short form content on IG and TikTok. But I'm like, man, I'm gonna take pride in that. I'm gonna keep on like competing with them. I'm probably no threat to them at all right now. But I wanted that challenge too, because it gives me more of that competitive edge. Like I'm gonna keep competing with them. It's a healthy competition, but yeah, that's how all of that has come together. And I'm probably 44 episodes in, you know, still hope the metrics get better and stuff like that. But I always say, if someone would say, if you want the show to get better, you have to remove the gospel, then I'll count the cost. I won't stop doing that at all.
Appreciate that. Jeremy, how do people tell us where to find it? Tell them, give them a plug real quick. We'll get in it.
Yeah. So if you literally type my name, Geremy Davis, on YouTube, you'll see Golf and Gospel. And the reason why I did change is just to look up Golf and Gospel, even though you can still find it. My wife said, like, people are more inclined to look up your name than Golf and Gospel because of, like, football and stuff. And I was like, that's smart. So if you just type in my name, Geremy Davis on YouTube, you'll find some dope episodes. The Ted Scott episode, the Emma Talley episode, and the one we did at Grass Clippings are the fire episodes. So if anyone's like, which one should I watch? Watch those three.
I was just watching the Ted Scott episode. I was giving we have two toddlers. I was giving them a bath, and it was sitting on the back of the sink, and I'm like watching it while it's really entertaining. It's really y'all are good.
Ted is amazing, dog. Ted is amazing, man. We're so happy because that was the first time me and Torrance put a game together.
Nice.
Because either I'm really off, or he's really off, or we're both off. Like Emma Talley was like, I played really well. He didn't. Ted, we both played well. We played against Don Pooley. He played the match like 1980 something. Torrance didn't play that well. Me and Torrance did a 1v1. I played bad. He played really well. We just waited for episode, like, let's just put it together. And we really believe like we would have beat Emma if Torrance would have showed up. He would say that too. That wasn't his best outing. But with that good episode we just did, Torrance showed up that one. So it's like, man, we gotta consistently play well. So you're gonna see our golf games like this. But as it says in Hebrews 13:8, Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So that's never, the gospel's always gonna be that. It's always gonna win on my channel.
Yeah. I love that. I like that that's that's the focal point of it, because there's so much golf stuff out there. We can find golf all day long, and it'll be there, and people are going to find what they like and going to get into. But when you really are, we have, Danny and I and Restoration Club, we have figured out that people are hungry in the space, in the golf space. They're hungry, and they're hungry for a spiritual aspect that really connect them to. And we talk about the one true God, and that they lead them straight to Jesus through this little white ball. and that little crazy small hole that we're trying to get into. And all of it is all based
absolutely.
to everything that goes back to it. So it's beautiful that you're doing that same thing. What's
Yeah,
the IG handle so everybody knows it too?
it's just GD85. I think I'm about to try to shift that to just make that golf and gospel because I have
Gotcha.
a personal page where I'll post like me and my wife or
Yeah.
like me doing something outside of golf. If people who already follow me don't like golf, I would hope they still like the gospel aspect of it where they still follow me.
Yeah.
But if you just look up GDay85, GDAY85, you'll find it.
Perfect. Appreciate that.
I'll say this, man, and this is maybe more so to back up Ryan and affirm you. Like, I think the competition's going to get better, the play is going to get better, but the fact that you're dedicating enough time to get to know somebody on your channel isn't always the case, especially in the game. And as we know, if you're going to share a cart with someone for 4 hours, you have a whole lot of opportunity to really tell their story or understand who they are. So whether it's Ted Scott or others, like I love that you even start with, I want to share the love of Jesus with you, and like just from the outset saying that's a goal. I'll take the breakfast ball all day long, but the no gimmies is not easy. But we'll put them in still. But man, I love the format, and I feel like there is maybe a threshold you feel like you're hitting right now of just driving consistency. But I think the more storytelling you can do in that space, the more people are going to come.
Yeah, and the other thing too, because me and Torrance just got off the phone with somebody, and we mean this wholeheartedly. We don't want to show any partiality on our channel, so it's not like we'll take Scotty Scheffler, but we won't take the local high school gym teacher who knows how to golf and loves Jesus. Man, if you love Jesus, bro, and you know how to golf to some capacity, come on, bro, because like I said, we want to also give people a voice who don't get to be heard. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't dropped yet. It's going to drop soon. I just did one with my pastor at Top Golf. He can't golf at all, but it's like he knows how to share the gospel. And then let's go to Top Golf. So giving people more voice. And obviously my pastor has a voice, but like not saying like you have to be a name to be on here. I don't want to hinder people from sharing the word of God because you don't have 500,000 followers or because you're not in this certain class in life, bro. Like we're all called to be ambassadors for Christ. I think it speaks about that in Acts. Like, why does that person not deserve a voice? Because they only have 5,000 followers. Like, nah, bro, come on, man. Let's golf. Let's compete. I'm still trying to beat you. But like, yo, tell me how you were able to, control your angers. How did the Lord sanctify you to allow you to stop doing this? Oh, tell me how your mindset going through battling cancer and stuff like that. Like stories like that, deserve to be heard and deserve to be encouraged. I had a homegirl, she's a boxer, but she told her stories at putt-putt. She told her story about how she was sexually harassed in high school going to college. And like that story was so powerful for her. She talked about how like, it was a time in her life she didn't feel pure because of that, but how the Lord loved her unconditionally to take like that. Those are powerful stories, man. And it's always good if at least 1-2 people hear that, man. It's like that's a dub, bro. That's a dub. Just from a business standpoint, you want to see the metrics grow in viewership and stuff like that, but like it's still a win.
Without a doubt. And, well, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out here, Danny, RC podcast versus golf and gospel. If you want a piece of this,
we can make that happen. We can make that happen, man. Like, if you guys ever want to come to Arizona, or me and the homie Torrance can come to Florida,
I love it.
We can make that happen because we love a 2v2 scramble. We would love that.
Yes, I love that. But that's beautiful, man. Because you're right. Everything is the story. There's the greatest story ever told, and everything else falls from that. And so it's how we let people be heard, let people be known, those types of things. So it's really, again, affirming you and what you guys are pulling off is really, really valuable in this world, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
And we hit on it a little bit. Geremy, you referenced the previous episode we did with Robin. It was really interesting to hear him talk about investing and having a platform to speak to the next generation, being a high school golf coach. You hit on the fact that you still have a touch point to the game of football, being able to coach high school football. Have you had an opportunity in interacting with those players, maybe more so around what you've spoken to about identity and not just being solely, resting it on the game or skill set or statistics?
Yeah. So my training business is called Training 148, which is based off 1 Timothy 4:8. Which says physical training is good, but training for godliness promises benefits in this life and life to come. So yeah, physical training is good. I'm going to get you better on how do you win versus release, or like what do you do versus 22 Tampa if the defense shifts to this. But like, hey, bro, let's sit here and tell me what Philippians 3:13 is, because I'm challenging them to memorize scripture. Because I love Colossians 3:16 when it says, "Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly." So I'm trying to challenge those kids to memorize scripture. Now I don't just jump into that because some kids that I train are Mormon. Some kids may be atheists. Um, but the door is always open when they ask me questions. I gotta be ready, prepared to have a defense why they ask me why I'm of the faith, right? So there are a few guys that I got to like sit down and purposely disciple and train. Some guys is just training, but even though it's not vocally spoke out loud, it's like how my actions in a trainer reflecting the gospel as I train them.
Man,
That's awesome.
love it.
Do you you talked a little bit about you guys at the PGA show. You talked about grass clippings. I know you got together with the guys out there when in Arizona and stuff like that. So what was your first connect to RC? Was it, I mean, not even just an event, like had you heard of it prior to the PGA show or with Restoration Club?
I found you guys on IG, and I was like, dang, they on the same mission as me, and probably spoke here and there, but first in-person contact was at the PGA show, man. And bro, I just love guys that obviously love Jesus, but like they dope. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no legalism, no perfectionism in us. Like, bro, like we're all ambassadors for Christ, bro. We all know how to vibe, bro. Like I just like that like you guys are on the same mission as me. So it's like the same team. And yeah, it was awesome to finally meet you guys like in person, especially at Topgolf, and just rap with you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sure.
You nailed it. You said the word vibes, right? That's really what it is. It's really the good thing that kind of makes it set apart. People can be a part of a club, they can be a part of a group or whatever, but I promise, like the vibe of Restoration Club and even what you're doing, like you said, the synergy in it is really what it's all about. So that's legit.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. And like I said, I felt all of that, with my short interaction while on the Florida PJ, but I fully felt it at Topgolf. And I was like, bro, I want to stay connected with these guys. Like, it was cool when Jeff came out here, got to golf with him, man. It's just Jeff was such a light out here, man. Because a lot of those guys, I don't believe really knew Christ, but I like how he's using his skill set as a photographer to win people to Jesus. And I was like Jeff, like you're doing a great thing, bro. You're doing a great thing.
Yeah, Jeff, you are. Come on podcast, Jeff. Come on. Let's get there. So inside joke about never getting Jeff on the podcast, and he's a part of this thing. It's all
I'm
cool.
gonna text him. I'll be like, bro, why you never do your own podcast, bro?
Shouldn't do it.
I think he just did one at Augusta the other day. I think they just did one like 2 nights ago. He's
getting too many reps in, not to be on.
That's right.
I'm gonna hit him up. I'm like, hey, bro, this dope podcast asked about you, man. I think it's called Restoration. I'll get him with that one.
Please do. I love that.
Geremy, you said you've done maybe 44 episodes on your own now. I don't want you to play favorites. Is there something that maybe surprised you from getting to interact with someone on the course and kind of understanding their background and story, or maybe a shared faith?
It's easy to say this answer because of who he is, but Ted, man, the story about him almost about to retire and getting that phone call from Scotty and going back in the caddy was like crazy to hear, man. Him just saying like, man, he got the call, and his initial reaction wasn't to say, yeah, he's like, I'm gonna talk to my family and we're gonna pray about it.
Yeah.
And I like that he took that to faith, family, then whatever your occupation is. And Ted's doing an amazing job. And I respect Ted highly too, because when I do shows with people, I want our connection to stay, connection. I don't want this to be like a one-time thing. Me and Ted still talk. Like, it's not like every single day, but like, Ted will hit me with a random dad joke because he's that type of guy. But like, just that story was amazing to hear. And then Emma told us this short thing about, she does practice it, but she was like, she had this thing about like why she doesn't practice chipping as much. It was like, why would she not practice chipping? And then she was like, I mean, when you're always getting green and regs from 120 out, like that was like, me and my boy Troy was like, that makes so much sense. Like,
that's right.
She did not have to chip against us one time. She was hitting the grid every time, man.
I don't know that
So
life. I don't know that life. I'm
I
sorry.
don't either. I don't. I had a few green directs today, which I was very happy about, but I don't know that life either. I
That's right.
don't know it, man. So and it's probably a plethora of other things, man. If I were to sit down and like tally through each episode, like, oh, they said a gym, they said a gym, you know, oh, like, oh, me and Torrance talked about that on this episode. Um, but because those episodes were like the most recent ones, they still, and I obviously some of my pastor told me too, but I don't want to say it until it drops. There's been some gems a lot of people drop. Like even like I said, that little smart part that her name's Jenna said on her episode about like not feeling pure because of that situation, but how I was like, that's a bar,
Yep.
bro. So yeah, there's a plethora of them, but those two were the first two quick ones that came to my mind.
Gotcha.
Has there been a you know, you mentioned like episode 1, you know, you were just trying to figure it out, getting going, then
Mhm.
quality again, you start investing in it, you start making it happen. Any couple tidbits of like what you've learned like along that route of
Oh
content creation? What have you learned?
How much time do we
man,
have?
what time is it, dog? One thing is the consistency of the same cameraman. So I hope he watches this. I don't know if he will. We shot an episode with Andrew Putnam, bro. And we were so excited, like first tour pro. So we just hired a local camera crew from Tacoma, and they were horrible. They were horrible. And I can't speak for Torrance. I know I feel this way, and Torrance might feel the same way, but like we feel like Putnam, I won't say he doesn't like us, but like I don't know if he wants to do anything with us because how bad it went. And it sucks because like I don't know these guys. So I learned like, man, if I don't have Noah Brediger, I'm not recording. And it sucks because like trying to time those things, because like I'm not at the stage of like a Bob Does Sports or Good Bill where I can just reschedule and fly out whenever I want. It's like, man, can we do this day? It has to work this day. And yeah, this the consistency of having the same cameraman who knows you, who knows how things work, man. And I just Andrew Putnam was so amazing, bro. He had said some funny stuff that this was not caught because the two cameramen didn't bring compatible mics. They used a boom mic. You can hear the cameraman breathe into the mic. I'm like, this is so bad. And it was so hard to edit because I edit everything myself. And if Putnam ever watches, bro, I apologize, players. Forgive us, dog. And let's run it back, bro, because you've seen the quality inspired. Now we want a rematch. It's like in that episode, Southwest lost my club, so I had to hit with blades. I couldn't hit with blades. Torrance foot was messed up. Like everything went wrong there, bro. And but in saying all that, yeah, just the consistency of having the same cameraman.
Yeah.
And I love Noah Brediger a lot because he buys camera equipment for Golf and Gospel. I didn't tell him to do that. So I appreciate how much he enjoys and hopes for the best for this as well. But yeah, if Noah's not there, it's like, I'm not doing it. We got to reschedule because I'm not making that same mistake again, man. And that and the Don Pooley episode, Don Pooley is a legend-ish in the PGA because he played in the Masters. He tied third in 1982 in the Masters, bro. And it's just like the quality episode just was not. And I'm just like, why every time I get a tour pro this happens? So before we had Ted, bro, like we prayed hard that all the equipment worked, and it came out amazing. I'm just like, and I already knew to only use Noah, but it's just like, man, if Noah's not there, did it. Like reschedule. Yeah.
That's right. Well, Andrew Putnam, if you're listening,
Dog,
what
please,
better way
Putnam.
to demonstrate restoration than to get it
Please,
back
dog.
together, and let's run this back for him. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out.
Putnam,
I
we'll
love
come
it.
to you, bro. We will come back to Tacoma, dog. We will come to Tacoma. Forgive us.
Yeah.
If you've been watching the content, you see me and Torrance got better. Like, please, dog, please. And we're so sorry, man. We're so sorry.
Got it.
I love that it's not about, you know, someone or their following or title and being on the channel, but I have to ask, is there a bucket list name out there that you would love to see on the channel with you guys?
Okay. Dang, yeah, I wish Torrance was here for this. Well, obviously Scotty, but I heard that he doesn't like doing those things. Only reason, and I could be wrong, speculating here. They said the reason why he does a lot of the foreplay podcast stuff is tailor made. But would love to have Scotty on. I'm cool with Stewart. I want Stewart Sink. We got to find time to get Stewart on. I'm trying to think, man. I have a whole list in my phone. I would say truthfully, I would love to have a black female Christian golfer on the channel. Um, that's been really hard to obtain. I was in communication with one, but she finagled me twice. So I'm like, all right, that's dead. Um, and one more, if I can think of another one. Oh, I was talking to Stan Utley. He just moved to Fort Worth, Texas. And I was like, dang.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scotty, Stewart, and like if Torrance is on here right now, he'll probably list off like it'll be cool to have them and them. But I would say those two. It's more reasonable and possible to get Stewart on because me and Stewart have a pretty cordial relationship. Scotty, man, shot in the dark. But Luke 137 says there's nothing impossible with God. So we'll see with that.
Claim it, proclaim it. Here we go.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
I love it.
Good stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, we've talked a ton about, golf and gospel and your platform. I love what you're doing, man. And like I said, I fully expect the competition to get even better. I think you're only going to get better. But aside from that, what is your favorite memory on a golf course not involving a golf club?
Again, sounds cliche, but when people can forget about what the score is at the time and boast in Christ. Me and Torrance just did a good week with our good episode. We talked about the importance of like praying for your friends selflessly. We talked about Job 42:10, and they said that Job was blessed with twice as much as he had before because he prayed for his friends. And we made sure to emphasize that we're not praying for friends because we want to gain twice as much, but because we should be praying for our friends. And we talked about how in First Samuel 12:23, it says it will be a sin if I cease to pray for you. Like that's how important it is to pray for friends. Like those moments, we forgot what the score was, and we're like sitting here sharing the gospel. Like I said, we did another piece on Psalms 133:1. We did a piece on I think it's Philippians 3:13. Forget about what lies behind, but looking forward to what lies ahead. And like that applies in golf too. Like I just bogey this, forget about it, move on. But like how that applies in life, not being stuck on a lot of things of the past. So when we can forget the score, forget the competition, and share the gospel boastfully, that's by far my favorite part of it. Because I said the number one thing of this channel is the gospel. Our swings change every day, but the gospel does not change at all. So yeah.
Love it.
I like that.
Beautiful.
Nice.
I love that. Well, that's awesome, bro. First of all, your energy is amazing, and it's evident.
I get really passionate talking about it, man. I really do.
Because it's a real God, and so there should be passion. there should be good energy, and because the Lord is light and is not filled with any darkness at all. So you having that energy and light is such a beautiful thing, and we appreciate that. You sharing part of your story with us, your time with us. That's always a great thing. We're excited about people checking out the YouTube channel, checking out your Instagram, seeing all those things happen and watch those metrics move up. We're excited. Yeah. I'm excited about Putnam coming back, Andrew Putnam coming back and making it happen. We're going to speak it right now. Yeah. And man, besides Danny and I beating you in Torrance, we're excited about that in the future.
Oh, yeah. We gonna make something shake. We gonna make something shake with that. Because like me and Torrance treat moments like this like game week. Like we gonna get dialed in on a putter. Boom, nice. Boom, boom. Like, hey, what are you hot at right now? Okay, you can get us off the tee. All right, I got the approach shot. Like we go in with a plan. So yeah, I would love to make that happen.
Ryan just got a new set of 6. He's just waiting for the opportunity.
I'm ready for that. Finally, we got it. That's
amazing.
So it's good. But man, it's been beautiful sharing with your life with us, and we're thankful for that. You joining us in the clubhouse today. With all of that, we're looking forward to the next time, and we just want to say that we appreciate you, man.
Nah, appreciate you guys too. I love what you guys are doing. I'm not saying that because I'm on here. Like I said, I found you guys before I was ever on here. I'm like, these guys are dope, bro. They're on the same mission as me, and I love how we're using golf to share the gospel. Cool. And not using the gospel to like, oh, let's just play golf and kind of use God and abuse that. So I love what you guys are doing as well.
Awesome, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, that's done for there. Perfect. Geremy, anything you need from us?
Nah, man, that was amazing. Like I said, I genuinely off camera love what you guys do, man. Like, and like I said, it's super genuine because the thing is my last thing. The thing I always see with a lot of other Christian pages is metrics come before the gospel. And what I mean by that is like I'll see some pages like post this top athlete because they said, "Oh, I want to thank God." And it's like, bruh, that dude bears no good fruit, bro.
Right? Yeah.
And now when kids or people who are questioning the faith see that, and then this person does something, they're like, well, he's a Christian. So now the church looks bad. So I appreciate the genuineness y'all have for the gospel. Not to say any of us are perfect, but like, dog, like we're all really trying to be sanctified in our life, and we're bearing good fruit. So I genuinely appreciate that about y'all.
That is real. That's
Likewise,
awesome.
man. Right back at you. I was gonna say you're certainly not running solo, but a lot of respect for what you're building.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to know whenever this episode drops, and yeah, please let me know. I'll blast it everywhere. Not because I'm on it, but because like you guys are just amazing. And yeah, I hope Putnam sees it, man.
We're gonna. Hey, it's gonna. Well, listen, Jeff and Putnam know each other.
With them, actually.
They're pretty close.
He told me. So
we're gonna figure out. We will figure something out. There's no reason we don't redeem this story because, like you said, it's just there's a powerful point to it, and I think that can honestly be part of the storytelling of it. Cool, man. Listen,
appreciate you guys. Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Let me go hang out with my wife. She just got home.
Good stuff.
Do it.
Well, appreciate you, brother. See you, man.
Talk to you soon.
See you.
All right, guys, that was the Restoration Club podcast, season 2, episode 4 with our guy, Geremy Davis. Loved having him on. A former football player, obviously doing his thing in the game now. Love being connected with him. We'll definitely drop the links to all of his pages in the description of the episode. Appreciate you guys listening to this one. As always, love continuing to see RC members at majors, RC guys doing local meetups, doing all the things. Definitely continue to check out our website for all the updated news, restorationclub.co. On Instagram, restoration_club. We appreciate you guys. Ryan, until next time, man, keep swinging.
Keep swinging.